Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. It is Monday, April the 4th, and this is That's Fancy. Tonight I have a fancy fold, an explosion card. So it's a new one for me. It's not a new one. There's been a number of demonstrators and crafters that have shown this around over the last, oh, probably lots of years. I've seen it for the last while anyway. Um, but I had never made one. So today was kind of the day. A friend of mine that I worked with on the Team Canada group had shown one. Tracy Stewart from the Paper Pusher did a video showing this recently, and I watched it, and that's what made me think, I haven't ever done one of these. I should do one. So tonight's the night. So hope you'll come along for the ride and see some crafting, and maybe you too will want to do one of these. It's just occurred to me that I think my sizing is back there on that messy table. Okay, there, over there, that messy table, because I didn't get it cleaned off because I was crafting right up until kind of the last minute tonight. It's not really anything new, is it? Anyway, if you are joining me, please do say hello. If you're watching on the replay, let me know that you're here and watching the replay, and hope you enjoy it. So there we go. See what we get coming up here. So while I look for my dimensions, which I don't see there. Have to head out the back here. So see if I don't really see them back here either. I think I know what. Maybe I have them with my paper here. I have a lot of stuff stacked up here because I had one plan, and then I was going to use the Dragonfly print, which I still made. But last minute, I noticed the tulip punch still sitting out from last week, and we had so much fun with that, and it reminded me how much I like the tulips. And so I was thinking, oh, maybe tulips. So then I grabbed a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, I will stop looking at all of that, and we can get to the good stuff. Okay, let me just switch this around. There we go. So move this out of the way. Not sure if I'm going to use that or not. And I will show you this. This is the sample card that I made this afternoon. So it does have a belly band on it, and one of the things we will be putting a belly band on the card that we make tonight, and I will recommend to you that as you do your belly band, if you put decor on it, hanging off the tag is fine, but be careful how far out the side it hangs, because I had both of these. I had the leaves. These leaves were dangling way over the edge. These were just a little bit over the edge, but I thought, you know what, when that goes in an envelope, it is going to smush. So I peeled them off and reattached them. So, excuse me. Alrighty. So the belly band just slides off. And are you ready? Here it comes. Drum roll. Drum roll. Anyway, here is the exploding part of the card. Isn't that fun? So this is actually not attached to the back here. Some people attach it. Oh, no. So I was going to say mine must have had some sticky. Depends how far you pull it open. Why does it? It was popping up before. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But it doesn't need to be attached in the middle. It's just attached at the edges so that it has that big ta-da, 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 ta-da. Here I am. And so there is no well, there's no sentiment in here. I don't tend to put a sentiment on the inside of my cards anyway. It does say happy birthday on the front. And there is some space down at the bottom here where you can put a little bit of a message and sign your name and stuff. Or I didn't do it, but you could put something on the back that you could write on as well. So your choice, but that's the card that we are going to make tonight. So I will show you how to recreate it. Okay. So I have, for this one, I have a piece of just jade cardstock, and this is just regular card base size, so it is 5.5 by 8.5, but it is not scored in the middle. It is scored at 2 1/8, and this was the one that I wrote down. And then I have my sheet. It's 2 1/8 from each side, so you could score it here, and then flip your paper and score it at 2 1/8 again. But I think it's 6 3/8. Let me just So scored at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Okay, and then that just folds in, so it meets in the center is basically what you are creating. Okay, just a little tip when you are doing this, because we want to make sure that the two edges meet but don't overlap and that sort of thing. When you're doing the second fold, if you kind of have it up high, but you just butt it up against your first piece, so it's jammed against that, and then slide your bone folder out to the folded edge, and then you can make your nice crease after that, just in case your scoring is off at all. And then this way your pieces will meet but they won't overlap. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a tidbit for how to do that. Hello, Lorna, welcome. It is kind of okay, so there is the card base, and then I have 2 pieces of designer series paper to go onto the front, and they are 2 inches by 5 3/8. So because this was 2 1/8, I made these 2 because that was a nice, easy measurement. 2-inch strips off of your designer series paper. If you want a little bigger border from your cardstock, you could go down 1/4 inch. So instead of down to 2 inches from 2 1/8 down to 2, you would go from 2 1/8 down to 1 7/8, and then this would be 5 1/4. So up to you. There's no right or wrong, but if you do it. If you do it with the narrow edge, you want to use your liquid glue to adhere it, which you might be using anyway, and you certainly can, but you do want to give yourself that bit of wiggle time when you've got narrow borders. And I don't think, no, these seem to go, they go up and down and down and up. So there's no up and down to my paper, which makes it easy. I don't have to worry about putting it on upside down, or worse, putting one on upside down and the other one right way up. Yeah, that would be that would probably be something that you would see quite easily, but this is completely symmetrical, because this is, I think it's called something symmetrical. Here's my paper right here. This is yes, sweet symmetry. So all the patterns, there's a lot of symmetry in them, although these do have up and downs. But anyway, lots of pretty colors, lots of little flowers, lots of small patterns, which are nice sometimes for card making. So we'll get this piece on here. So it's Monday, it's the beginning of a new week, and it's supposed to be quite spring-like this week. So I think we might try to ski this Wednesday, because we live close. We can go early, leave early. And the snow is probably still fine early in the morning, but it does tend to soften up when it gets up to 8 degrees during the day. And today was sunny too, so I suspect it got soft today, but we weren't there today. So, alrighty, so there is my card base ready to go. And we're just going to set that aside for a moment. And we are going to work on the explosion part from the inside. So this piece of designer series paper is 4 by 8. Okay. And I haven't done the scoring on it yet. I thought we would do that together so I can show you what you want. So you are going to score at 2, and make sure you don't use the dark one. You want the light one, the light scoring blade. This is your scoring blade. So we're going to score at 2 and at 4 and at 6. Someone asked me one time why I go back and forth a few times when I score with this, and whether you needed to. Was it not that hard, durable, like strong or something? And I said, no, when I am scoring designer series paper in particular, I tend to go with a lighter touch because you can tear designer series paper with your score lines. So I tend to go back and forth a few times with a lighter touch as opposed to just once with a heavier touch. Okay, once you have it all scored, I'm just pinching in the middle at the 4-inch score line, and that's really just to create a center that I can find. So I'm going to put the center in my track and the kitty corner in the track. And I am going to score this on the diagonal. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other diagonal. So I've got the other corner and this fold. Okay, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other half. So from the fold in the track, and the corner in the track. So your life is kind of crazy these days, is it, Lorna? Always seems to be lots to do, but sometimes there's even more. I know how it goes. Not sure what all you're up to. Perhaps some stuff with the church and things, eh? Okay, so now our paper is all scored, and I will show you what I did. And this, this may not be the prettiest picture, but it will illustrate for you. So this is the designer series paper, and it is 4 inches by 8 inches, scored at 2, 4, and 6. So this is 2, 4, 6, and then we scored like this. This. That's not right. Ah! Please ignore that picture. You're late. Oh, but you probably came in just in time to see me mess up my little diagram. Okay, so I'm showing you my designer series paper here that is a 4 by 8. We're starting again for the second time because I messed up. And it is scored at 2, 4, and 6. Hello, Terry. I'm glad you're here. So this is scored at 2, 4, and 6. And then we pinched at 4. So here is where we pinched. And then we did scoring from corner to corner. This is very not to scale. Because this is 4 inches and this is 4 inches. Doesn't really look the same, but you caught that, did you, Lorna? Okay, so anyway, and this X should actually be right there. See if I can do a little better on this. There, look, at least I met pretty much in the middle. So there's the corners. So you score from your fold in the middle to the corner and your fold in the middle to the corner, so that you are scoring an X basically through the 2 and the 6 inch score line. Okay. I hope that's helpful. One never knows when you can't even get it right. But anyway, okay. So then I am going to fold these score lines. So it just folds down to the center and up to the center. And this actually folds quite easily on those score lines. I'm going to flip it around just because I find it easier to work this way. And fold down and fold up. Wasn't quite up to the edge on my last card. Okay. So now we have, I think you can kind of see all. So, but we haven't folded the middle of these. So because this is going to be a valley, okay, and this is a valley, this needs to be a mountain because you always want to alternate mountains and valleys. And you'll see how that comes together in just a moment. And if you fold it the wrong way, that's okay. It can just get folded back when you realize it's not coming together the way you want. Okay, so now what you have when you get these valleys folded again, there we go. You get your 2 at your 2 and your 6. So your 2 inches in comes in, and this just folds down. Okay, same thing over here. That these guys push in, and this folds down. Okay. And this was all folded and scored. I'm just giving it a little bit extra squish now that it's all in the shape that we want. And you can see how our explosion is coming together. We're making an explosion card, Terry, in case you're wondering what the heck is going on here. So this score line in the middle, we don't actually fold. It was just to create that little pinch so we knew where our center was. Okay. So there is that part. And then we'll do a little, I'm going to set that aside for a moment. This is going to go, actually I'll bring it back for a moment. This is going to go into the center of our card. Hey Jen, welcome. We're just making an explosion card here. So this is the center, and this, I mean, you could put a sentiment on here, you could put an image on there, you could put both on if you have a small image, and then you could put a sentiment on there. What did I pull out? As I said, I pulled out the dragonflies, but I was actually thinking I might use the flowers on the inside and then the dragonflies on the front. And then I was thinking maybe I would use the tulips. So now I'm completely undecided what I'm going to do. But let's start with this. Make one executive decision here. Because I love this flower, all these tall stalks of flowers. So we need to show the dragonflies some love before they retire. Okay, so I think that I will just do this with Misty Moonlight, which is the color of this designer series paper. So we're going to keep the inside color scheme relatively simple because the green and the blue is a little bit different. They're both in this paper. And I had wanted to use that. Anyway, it's a long story. You know how the creative process goes. Sometimes you have this idea and then you start down one path and it's like, oh, that's not going to work. And then you have to change something. You grab something else and then all of a sudden your colors sort of, you wonder if they're a little odd. But anyway, these are the colors that we have. You know, I could put this down low and I could probably get a sentiment right on here, couldn't I? I don't know what sentiment I would use. You're an instrument for a true friend. I had pulled out the happy birthday on this card is from the summer shadows or something like that. I also have the tulip here. What do we have in the tulips? Here's all the stuff I punched the other night because I was going to make more tulips. See how well that's going? Yes. I don't think we want to do a sympathy card tonight. We did one of those the other night. Hello. Say hello and happy birthday. Or I could say happy Easter, happy spring. What a beautiful difference one single life makes. Oh, too many decisions. Too many decisions. So I need something small. So maybe I could put for a true friend. I don't know whether these fonts will go together. They may inside and outside the card. Okay, we're gonna stamp. We're just gonna go for it. Yeah. So I'm gonna put the flowers here, right near the edge, and hopefully this sentiment, oops, that is now off the camera. This one for a true friend will fit on my paper. And if it won't, then we're not doing it. Clearly, because I won't fit. Okay. For a true friend. Here we go. I need a little block. Now the next thing will be, can I get it straight? Because maybe I'll do a test stamp. If you're ever wondering whether you've got your stamp mounted straight, if you have a straight edge and you line your block up with that straight edge and then you stamp, you can use that to see that this is tilting down just a smidge. So I will attempt to tilt up just a smidge. See how this works. And if it doesn't work, well, guess what? There's always the back. And I have more cardstock close by. I think I did it. Okay. So there we go. And I like the way that looks. Don't know what we're going to do with the outside yet, but anyway, that's all good. Okay. So don't need this right now. And I am just going to attach this. Don't forget when you are stamping on this piece of paper that it is a diagonal piece of paper. It's not a square piece of paper. I mean, it is a square piece of paper, but don't think I gave you the dimensions for this. So this is my Just Jade cardstock is 2 3/4 light. So it's just a shade less than 2 3/4, because if you measure this on the back, this is 2 3/4. Actually, this, oh, I thought I measured it. It was 2 3/4. This looks more like 2 7/8. So I probably could have done it 2 3/4, but I went just a smidge smaller, in a really small smidge. So 2 3/4 and then 2 1/2. Both are squares. Okay, and then this is just going to attach in here. And it's easiest if you attach this before you attach this to your card, just because it will lay nice and flat at this point. And it's it's a little more difficult to get it to flat once it's attached to your card. So unless you forget, put it in before you build the card. And it's really easy to see where this goes. It's almost a perfect fit, I think, as I would call it. Yes. So, there we go. Okay, and then that will just fold down and hide it. Okay, so back to our card. So what you want to do now, and you can use whatever adhesive you like. Tear and tape is nice and easy because you can put it on and get it all ready, but it's not sticky until you want it to be, as in until you tear the top piece off. So it's actually very easy to work with. So I'm going to put a piece just on the edge of this, so it's the side edges that we're putting the adhesive on. I'm going to put a piece on here. Okay. And get it squished in again. So then you just want to put it right in the middle of this. So I think that's pretty good for middle, top, and bottom. Just going to attempt to get this off of here. It's a little tricky because because it's stuck around the back. That's not going to work well. So much for having my perfect placement. Okay. I could just tear the tear and tape off at this edge, but I thought I would just wrap it over. But it does make getting the paper off a little trickier because it's not attached to anything yet. This may not work. Maybe I'll do this side first. I think that's what I did. It's easier if I do this, isn't it? This isn't attached. It's not pulling up easily, of course, because I'm on camera. It came up very easily on my sample earlier that I was making. And this one is folded over now with all that goofing around. Okay, I am going to tear this off because I think it will make getting the piece off a little bit easier. Let's give that another shot, see what we can do here. And I don't know that it needs to go right to the very edge. See, now it comes off quite easily. Exactly. Always that way when you're on camera. Yes, it is, isn't it, Terry? So this extra piece, my thought was that I would layer it back just to have a little extra, you know, super glue, but it's a lot easier to get the paper off when it's just attached. So if you have this in the middle, then you can just lay your card front down on it and it will stick. And so I'm going to tear a piece of this off as well so that I can hopefully get this one off a little bit easier. Yep. I was making wedding invitations for my daughter on the weekend, and we used adhesive sheets on a little a cutout from the harvest dies. There was a lot of pokey tool pulling that sort of paper off, very similar to tear and tape. So then you're just going to lay this side down and press it. And then, ta-da, 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 ta-da. So you can you see there? You can see light through there. So it's not attached in the middle, but that's okay. It's attached on the edges, but it will explode when you open it. Okay, then piece of cardstock is 1 inch by 11 inches, and this is for your belly band. So because this card is too fat to stay closed, you need something. You can wrap ribbon attached here and tie ribbon to hold it, or you can do a belly band. There's probably other ways you can do it, but I'm just doing a belly band. So the easiest way to figure out where to store a belly band and how to make it is just to build it in place. So I'm just going to push this around, and you don't want to pull and squish and make it super, super tight. You want it snug, but the card is always going to pop a little bit, but you want to be able to slide your belly band off and on. So I just kind of fold it around, give it a nice little squeeze, okay? And then to put it together, you just pick one side to be one side for the top, one side for the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to use the tear and tape again. Don't ask me why. No, I'll tell you why. You can go ahead. Go ahead. Ask me. Ask me why I'm using tear and tape after I fought with it the last time. I am using tear and tape because this is going to go off and on. I want it to be strong, and tear and tape is a stronger adhesive than just Seal. You could use Seal Plus, probably. It is strong, but right now my daughter has all my Seal Plus because apparently I didn't quite get the all the invitations finished. So I gave her all my supplies and said, here, you get to finish them. So it felt kind of bad, but I had told her that I would not get to them until after the ski season. And her fiance is getting a little antsy about getting them out because they had sent a save the date email. But of course, young people don't always check their email. So people, they're saying they didn't get it, aka they didn't see it because they don't check email. But because I think they sent it to a number of people in one fell swoop. I think some of them ended up in spam. And so anyway, he was just getting a little antsy that people would be making plans because they are saying that 2022 is the summer of the wedding. All the people that wanted to have a wedding for the last 2 years, plus all the people that just happened to get engaged recently that wanted to get married this year, everybody is having a wedding. So he wants all his buddies to come to his wedding, not go to anybody else's. Or not go to another one that's on the same weekend, I guess. So anyway, so they're hoping to get them sent out now. Laura's like, all the etiquette books I look at, or all the etiquette online, wedding etiquette online. So he looks at books for that stuff anymore, I guess. Anyway, they say 6 to 8 weeks in advance, but their wedding's not till August, so they're a little bit ahead of that. But that's because they want to know the date. So then you just make sure that lines up and give it a nice press, and yeah, make sure it lines up. I didn't do the best job, but you know what? That's what your paper snips are for. I am just going to give that guy a little bit of a haircut. There. That's a pretty little haircut, but it's fixed and it's gone. And then you can decorate your belly band. So I said, for a true friend in here. Oh no, I thought I had that even. Now it doesn't look even. Now it looks like I went. Well, it's all glued in, so it is what it is now. So, can we say happy birthday for a true friend? Does that make sense? Is that grammatically kind of correct? Maybe this happy birthday. This one might work well for a true. This, I think this font kind of, well, kind of sort of matches. But I also know it fits on this tag that I can, because that's the the sentiment that I used on this card. So we're going to go with this one. Okay, just get this on here. I have this one mounted straight because last time I stamped and then die cut. Oh, that is terrible. Okay, well, you know, we have another side. We want it down more, hopefully straight. Okay. Alrighty, and then I have some. Let me need to find a spot to put this. Things are filling up over here. Okay. Then I was thinking I have some scrap paper, and I was going to do a dragonfly. So I think we will stamp and punch him. Now, maybe I should make this something other than the blue, should I? So this is going to go on here. Should we keep it all blue? Maybe we should keep it all blue because there's a lot of color going on there. Okay. Two. We'll see. I may or may not have room for two on here, but see if I. Maybe I gotta punch him first. Oh yeah, because this is going to, the little guy is going to punch as well, isn't he? I think we need to take the, when you stamp on the corner of cardstock like this for a punch, you often have to cut that bottom corner off to get it down low enough into your punch, which is what I had to do there. So. Ooh. There we go. So clearly I would not get a second one now. I could have planned that a little better, but that's okay. It's just a little bit of white cardstock. So then we just do this. I think I only want one anyway. So there. Okay, I am going to grab some dimensionals from out the back because I do not have any on this table because I stole them earlier. Okay, we'll put some dimensionals now. If you're, when you're adhering your tag or whatever you've made to decorate your belly band, remember that it's only going on a 1-inch strip. So you want to keep it across the middle. And you don't have to center this. I wonder if we want this over to the edge a little bit. And this guy, we could sort of center everything. Maybe that's what we need, okay? As opposed to sticking him up top. Yeah, let's do that, just to be different from the last card. I'm going to put that to the edge. And then, I think, maybe we'll put him on here. The little dimensionals for him. Where did, I thought I just saw a sheet. Oh, here. I did. Put some of these, and I don't think Oh, I could go. Yes, okay, so we could do his head and down his body, but not down his tail because that's going to dangle off the bottom. But this way, it won't go past the outside edge of the card, which I did on my sample card, in case you missed that at the beginning. There we go. And I think I was trying to decide if that needed any gems or not. I was looking perhaps like it did not, but it could, because we have these lovely, where are they? Do I not have them in here? The genial gems are pale papaya and pear pizzazz. Except they aren't in here. I don't know where they went. I don't think I finished them. They might actually be sitting out because I did use them recently. But we could put a nice little rhinestone onto this guy. Do you all put rhinestones on the head of your dragonflies when you make them? Or your butterflies, or any of these kinds of things? I tend to do that a lot. That's sort of how I do my embellishment on these things. And then I think I'm going to add some more. We're going to bling this up a little bit. So I think that I'm going to do 3, one large one and 2 small ones. Let's see if I can get these centered on here from an angle. Here we go. Now I just need a card. Okay, so here's our card. Hopefully this still slides on. I don't remember if I tested it or not before I finished it. It might be a little snug. Oh, there we go. Okay. Perhaps a wee tad snug, but I think it's going to be okay. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Clear this stuff out of the way so we can do the big demonstration. So I like that off center. That's kind of neat. I think that works. So there's your card, your belly band, your happy birthday sentiment. You just slide that baby off and poof, there's a surprise inside. For a true friend. There we go. My true friends watching here. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate everyone being here. It's it's so much more fun to craft with people along for the ride. So there are the cards. And for those of you that joined a little bit later, just so I can show you, there was the first card with the, this is artistically inked designer series paper, and this is the summer shadows, and then I just colored it with my stamp blends. I was thinking I glued it down backwards, but I didn't. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's glued on backwards, and because it's stamp blends, it's come through, but no, it's the correct way. Yes, I'll be fine, maybe. Do you have to tell the recipient how to get the band off? I don't think so. Belly bands are, I guess it does kind of depend who you're sending it to, perhaps, but belly bands are somewhat common. A lot of wedding invites and some of those sorts of things have a belly band on them. So I think most people, if they go to open, because it is sort of sticking up a little bit, if they try to open, they would realize, oh wait, this is on here. Oh, and on the back you can see that it's an extra layer. And you could decorate that if you wanted, just to, because there is a scene that shows. But anyway, I think it's a good question, Lorna, but I think most people would figure it out and it would be okay. But if anybody has any other thoughts, do share. I'm just going to close up this ink pad that I left open because I almost leaned in it as I was about to reach over here to get the mouse to bring me back to. Okay, there we go. And I am back with you. So that's fancy for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give that a try. It's not a difficult card to make if you just sort of step through the scoring. So again, do you want to see that really good drawing again? Will that help you? Where did it go? Okay, here, we'll just fold this so you don't see that I messed up initially. So your designer series paper for the inside, that's kind of hard to see, isn't it? 4 inches by 8 inches, scored at 2, 4, and 6. And then you pinch at the 4 so you can see where the middle is, and you score diagonally both sides. Okay. Your card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. And the inside cardstock is 2 3/4 square, and the white was 2.5 square, and then the belly band was 1 inch by 11 inches. So I think that's everything. And if you run into any problems or have any questions, reach out to me. I will help you through it. We can do anything together, can't we? Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see everyone again really soon. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye for now.